enough of the book. I'm gonna read the back to you, and this alone should make you be like, whoa. What happens when the most beautiful girl in the world marries the handsomest prince in the world, and he turns out to be a son of a bitch? Oh no! Oh no, it says it! And then we got the cover here, and oh, it's a map. It's a map, so you can like track the story, which is kind of fun. And there's a Zoo of Death. They call it the Zoo of Death, not the Pit of Despair they do in the movie. Zoo of Death's pretty cool, but they couldn't call it the Zoo of Death because they left out so many good parts from the book. I'm just going to quickly read this little part right here because pretty much sums up what the book's about. Kind of what the movie's about, but more what the book's about. Fencing, fighting, true love, strong hate, harsh revenge, a few giants, lots of bad men, lots of good men, 5 or 6 beautiful women, beasties, monstrous and gentle, some swell escapes and captures, death, lies, truth, miracles, and a little sex. In short, it is about everything. Yes, it is, and it is everything that you should be reading right now. I have no idea if you can still get this. I'm sure you can. This is a copy from my grandpa, so it kind of has... Damn you, airplane. We shall wait for it to stop. So it has sentimental value to me. Like you can see, it's been well loved. It's kind of falling apart, but I try to take as good a care of it as possible because it's my favorite book ever. I'm gonna tell you guys, after I've been attacked by birds, the things that happen outside. It's so exciting. I think that's the Robin from earlier. I think she's angry. Earlier, she like landed over there while I was filming, and she was like, and she was like hovering near her nest and like going back and forth and like looking at me and being like, what are you doing here? I'm gonna just highlight 2 exciting parts that are in the book that aren't in the thing. So for the ladies, at the beginning, it describes how Wesley and Robin actually tell each other that they like each other. It's not like in the movie where it's like, you know, this big moment, he takes it down, as you wish. At that moment, she realized that as you wish really meant, I love you. No, in this book, she like confronts him and she realizes, you know what, I really like him and I'm really jealous when other girls look at him, so I'm just gonna go tell him. So she knocks on his door and he like opens it and stares at her, and then she's like, I'm in love with you, blah 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 blah. And like she goes through this whole monologue from starting at like, I love you because of this, and like he's still not saying anything. So then she gets like really insecure, and that's really apparent. And then like she starts thinking he's an asshole because he's not saying anything. So she gets like really angry, and then he like just shuts the door. He like doesn't know what to do about it. It's because he loves her so much and he's all in shock and stuff, and it's so sweet. But men, I know you're watching and I know you're thinking, meh, haven't sold me on it yet. If this doesn't sell you, you're not a man. No, I'm kidding. If this doesn't sell you, you're not human. I'm just saying. The Zoo of Death in this, but it's the Pit of Despair, I believe, in the movie. Wow! When Fezzik and Inigo go to get Wesley, in the movie, you just see him, like, he uses his sword, he finds a tree, presses that knot, they go in the thing, they run down the stairs, there's Wesley. No, they've missed a good half an hour of movie, maybe longer. Oh my god, it's so exciting. Oh my god, when I read this in the book, I was like, so, in one of the rooms, there's this giant snake, I don't know, maybe it's an anaconda. It ends up wrapping around both of them, like strangling them to death, and they're about to die, and then Inigo has this great idea. He's like, Fezzik loves rhymes, and I know Fezzik's strong enough that he could just rip the snake in two, but he's not doing it because he's scared. So he's like, Fezzik, I have the best rhyme ever, but since we're about to die, I guess you'll never get to hear it. Throughout the movie, you see it a little bit, that they like the rhyming, but it's more prominent in the book, and it's very entertaining.
Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If there are, we all be dead.
No more rhymes now, I mean it!
Anybody want a peanut? Yeah!
And so Fezzik just gets so angry, he's like, I have to hear this before I die, and he just like rips the snake in two. Then there's this other room that has like this door handle with like these crazy spots on it, and like that means that it's a special poisonous spider, and so they have to get past the spider and kill it. And then there's this other part where they're going down the stairwell, and there are these vampire bats, but it's all dark. Inigo uses his crazy fencing techniques, which you also get to hear about like how he learned them. You hear about his teacher, you hear about the story about what happened to his father and why he wants revenge on him. Oh, it's so good. It's such an epic, epic book, and there's so much more behind every character. It even gives background on Fezzik and how he grew up and how he was a freak because he's a giant, right? How he did all these like death matches and oh, so cool. Anyways, back to my story. Vampire bats vampire bats, just that alone should make you want to read the book. But if it doesn't, so he uses his crazy fencing techniques, and like he's slaying so many of them in the dark, like, with his eyes closed essentially. His sword gets like so heavy because it's weighed down with all these bodies, so he has to get them off and then try and slay them again. And it's this huge, exciting, crazy part, and there's crazy creatures caged up in there because it's a zoo, right? And it's just such a good book. Oh my god, you guys have to read it. You have to read it. It's so good. And after you read it, comment below about how much you loved it. Or comment below that you didn't like it. If you like fantasy, excitement, a little bit of romance, it's such a great story. It's epic. It's one of those stories that I think will stand the test of time. I think it's going to be an amazing story forever. It's just such a good book. So please, please, the William Goldman's version of The Princess Bride is amazing. I love this book with a passion, and I hope that you guys do too. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.